Hello, I welcome back to my channel, Sumates. In today's tutorial, I'm going to be sharing with you how I made this beautiful circle flay top, okay, with strap, okay. So if this is what you love to learn, please stay tuned to the end of this tutorial, okay. So if you don't have adjustable strap or hook, you don't need to bother. I'm going to show you how to do this without any adjustable strap, okay. So I have this fabric here, which is what I used to recreate the style. I have this fabric here. It's about 2 years of fabric. Yes, it's about 2 years, and that is what I'm going to be using to do this. Okay, so if you're making this with your pants, please you should have about 2 years of 60 by length fabric. Okay, length 60 fabric, at least 2 years 2.5, depending on how long you want the pants and the top to be. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do right now is to fold this fabric the way you would normally fold fabric when we are trying to cut a flay. So I'm going to fold it into 4. All right, I'm going to fold it into 4, and that is what you see me doing here. Okay, so I was not folding it into 4. You can see here is 2 folded into 2 twice, and here is into 4 and closed up. Okay, so this is it. So here we'll have 2 by 2 to 4, and here we'll have the complete 4 not separated. Okay, so here it is. All right, so it will be time for me to measure. So note that the first thing we are going to do now is to come down by 4.5 inches. So you can use 5 inches for this. Okay, so that was what I was actually trying to see. You can use 5 inches, but mine, I'm using 4.5 inches here. Okay, so I proceeded to mark that 4.5 inches round in form of a circle, and I proceeded to connect them, as you can see here. Okay, so here now is going to be the center, and this other side that is not folded here is going to be the side. Okay, so take note of that. So here from the beginning here, I'm going to mark from my shoulder to my chest. Okay, so that is what I'm marking here, from my shoulder to my chest. So I proceeded to mark it here. Okay, then I'm going to connect it from here, and I am going to go up from here by 2 inches. Okay, so to make the connection, I went up by 2 inches, and it's from these 2 inches I marked upwards now that I'm going to be connecting to my chest measurement. Okay, can you see it? So that is what I did. Okay, can you see it? So I proceeded to connect down to the shoulder, from shoulder to chest that I marked. Then this round one is going to serve as our back part, and this part is our front part. So I measured to ensure that I have my bust circumference divided by 4. So I have exactly my bust circumference divided by 4 after measuring. So I need joining allowance. Okay, so I'm going to remeasure by coming down by 0.5 inches. So I remarked and connected down to the 0.5 inches that I marked, and I'm going to remeasure at this point again. So after measuring, I should have my bust circumference divided by 4 plus allowance. So that is what I have finally achieved here. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do now is to place my tape here and get my length, the length of my circle flay top. Okay, so I'm going to mark the length. So this length include my actual length and my hemming allowance. Okay, so I am going to ensure that my tape is placed here constantly while I measure round. Okay, so I'll ensure that it's not moving as it is placed on the tip here. So I'm going to be using my hand to be pinning it down, ensure that it's there while I measure and mark. Okay, so follow along and do the same thing when making yours. Okay, so I'm going to measure and mark round exactly how we mark our round flay. Okay, so I'll measure and mark round, after which I'm going to connect them together. All right. So I was not measuring and marking, and I'm just going to cut it out. So here I was done cutting out, and the next thing I'm going to do now is to open it up here. I'm going to slit through here all the way down. Okay, remember I said this part I'm slitting now is going to be our side. All right, the side where we join our line, our seam line. Okay, so this part now is going to be my front part. So before I cut out the front part, I am going to raise this one up and mark exactly what I have here. Okay, I'm going to repeat that same 4.5 inches I marked round here. Okay, so I'll measure and mark round 4.5 inches. Okay. So I was done marking, and I'm going to cut out. So I'm going to lift up the front part and I'll cut out. So this part I'm about to cut out now is going to be our front part, and the other one is going to be our back parts. Okay, so I was done cutting the front part and I'm cutting the back part now, as you can see. So this is what I have. Can you see it? Can you see? So this is what we have here. So because I want the front part to be shorter and the back part longer, I'm going to lift up the front part. I will first of all measure about 1.5 inches, and I'm just going to a kind of blend it to the side. Okay, ensuring that they are both equal on the side but different on the center front, since the front will be shorter than the back. Okay, so I proceeded to connect, and I raised the front part and I trimmed off the the 1.5 inches I marked. Okay, okay, so here is what I have. So I'm going to open it up and I'm going to be showing you the next thing we are going to do. So this one here is my back part, and I'm going to fold it into two here. And after folding it into two, what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure my nipple to nipple divided by 2. Okay, and I will mark on it. Okay, so I'm going to measure my nipple to nipple measurement divided by 2. That is my bust span divided by 2, and I marked here, as you can see. And I'm just going to place a notch right here. Okay, I'll just place a notch where I made the marking. So you can see I went on to notch it and I open it up. You can see the 2 notches here. I'm just going to use my chalk to highlight the point where I notched. Can you see it? So I'll set it aside and I'm going to bring my front part. So this here is my front part, as you can see, and I'm just going to fold it into 2 and notch. This time around I'm going to be notching the center front. Okay, that is the folded part. Okay, so I'm going to place a notch on the center front like this, and the next thing I'm going to do is to cut my rope. So I'm going to cut a 2-inch rope. Okay, I'm going to cut a 2-inch rope for this front, 2 of a 2-inch rope. So here is the rope. This rope is 2 inches. Okay, 2 inches wide. So I cut it 2 inches wide, and you can see, and I folded it 0.5 inches on both sides with the help of my iron. Okay, I folded in 0.5 inches on both sides with the help of my iron and further folded in. So at the end I have 0.5 inches here, And the length of my rope here is about 35 inches. Sorry, 28 inches. Yes, the length of my rope is 26 inches, and I cut two of it. So remember the front part, remember the notched part. So from the right, I am going to place this tape strip. I'm going to sandwich the fabric in between the center of the strip that I cut. Okay, so I'm going to join till the center. Okay, that center point where I marked, I'm going to join this one side, and when I get to the center, I'm going to stop. Then I'm going to pick this one. Okay, so on this side as well, I'm going to sandwich the fabric in between the rope, and I'm going to join also. So I went on to join it, and everything stopped at the point where I notched here. Okay, and this is the back side. Okay, so I joined, ensuring that I ended the joining around there. So now I'm going to cross the two rope, and I'm going to use my stitch to hold it down here. Okay, can you see it? So that is what I'm going to do. And as for my back part, I am going to cut a rope on my back part and sew it as well. So I'm going to cut a 1 inch 1.25 inches rope. My rope is going to be 1.25 by wideness, in wideness, and it's going to be about 18 inches long. And I'll cut it, join it, and sew it, and that is what I just did. I sew it and I attach it. Can you see? Placing it right side facing right side, I attach. I did the same thing on this point, so I attach it exactly on the places where I notched. And I have this strip that I cut out. It's just 1 inch wideness, and I'm going to use it to pipe the neckline. Okay, I'll pipe it round. Okay, so I went on to pipe it round, and this is what we have. Can you see it? Okay, so what I'm going to do right now is to bring in the front part. I'm going to place it right side facing right side, and I'll go over to my machine and join. Okay, so I'm going to make sure that I align them to be equal. So at this point on the side, you're going to notice that one is longer than one. You don't need to panic. Okay, so what we're going to do now is that we're going to make sure that they are equal on the side by trimming off the excess on one of the one that is longer. Okay, so I'm just going to connect this way to make sure that they are equal just around the side where we're going to join. Okay, remember the back part is going to be longer than the front part, hence the reason for this. Okay, so I'm just going to use my scissors to cut out just as I have joined the shape, ensuring that they are equal here where I'll be joining. Okay, so here is the shape that I'm cutting out. Okay, so it's just a way of making them equal here while blending the rest to this back part. Okay, so I am going to do this on both sides. Okay, so that they are going to be equal on both sides of the back. It's actually the back part that is longer, remember? So I'm going to blend the side where we're joining to ensure that it's the same thing with the front part. Okay, so after that, I'm going to place it right side facing right side, and I'm going to take it to my machine, and I will join with the allowance I allocated for it. So if you have watched up to this point and you've not liked this video, go ahead and hit on the like button, subscribe, and drop a comment for me. So I went on to join, as you can see, and I also tied the rope. Okay, so I am going to loosen the rope to show you how I tie it. So you're just going to bring one of the crossed rope on the front and tie it just the way you tie you knot the rope. And so next thing I did was that I stitch on the rope. Okay, so that is what I did, and I'm just going to tie it this way. So I tied it like this, the way we normally make our bow tie. It look like bow tie. So just go ahead and knot it exactly the way you want it to be. So another thing that I did, that I went on to hem the downside. Okay, after tying my ropes and holding it down with stitch, I hem the all the downside round. Okay, so let me show you the downside that I hem. Okay, so can you see it? I went on to hem it, and that is it for this beautiful tutorial. So can you see it? So I'm going to go ahead and give it a very good press, and that will be the end of it all. Thank you so much for watching. Tell me what you feel. How do you feel about this? Is this something you would like to try? Is this something you like? You can drop a comment for me, and I would love to see you some other time when I drop another tutorial like this. Bye.